editor-in-chief of Gawker.com. He recently returned from Egypt where he was covering the protests in Cairo. Lots to talk about with Mr. AJ Daulerio. Yeah.
Get crowded here.
I'm not going to shake your hand, AJ, because we learned something about you backstage.
No.
Not feeling too well.
No, that's terrible right now.
What's going on?
Everywhere?
With the body, the physical sickness there.
Well, I know, who did I shake with? You guys.
Yeah.
This is gonna get like contagious.
Is it Ebola?
Yeah.
It's too late.
It's like a science fiction story.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's stomach flu. I think.
Okay, you can deal with that. You can deal with that.
I'm ready.
I got a shot.
You've got your fair shots over the years. AJ, good to have you here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you are editor-in-chief of Gawker. You're coming up on your first year at the helm of Gawker, right? Congratulations.
That's true, yeah.
Anniversary here. How's it been? How's that first year been?
It's been great so far. I mean, I think the first couple months were a little rocky, as they usually are, but you know, the summer kind of stunk.
Yeah.
But now it's been tremendous.
It's picking up.
Yeah.
Well, how would you grade yourself on a report card? Report card grade?
A.
A plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're offered, of course.
You're killing it. Well, you know, I gotta say, I think people were expecting some more new media dong shots with Gawker, with you.
I mean, there have been.
Have there been some?
Well, I mean, Hulk Hogan's sex tape. I mean, dong.
Yeah. But I want like a Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump sex tape. Are we doing that?
If I knew who those people were, I'm still adjusting to the
You're
whole
still
Gawker
just a little
thing.
bit?
Yeah.
Do you miss the sports beat? Or do you?
No, I think I was ready to move on from that. I just started to turn not into a sports fan anymore.
Yeah.
Just because I would watch sports, I would be like, these people are just like awful human beings. Because they don't know their personal lives. But you know, I mean, I think there's the only difference between Gawker and Deadspin is really just the people, and that's it. People you work with.
Yeah.
But you know, other than that, it's the same kind of approach where it's just I'll be as aggressive as possible, and then let people also be smart.
Yeah. What's been your favorite story to cover this year, first year at Gawker?
Jeez, you know, I think probably
The monkey in the coat.
I missed the monkey.
If that's not your answer, man, I don't know.
No, I really enjoyed it. I think it was maybe just like my first week when you know, Brian Williams had emailed Nick, and then Nick showed me the email. Like Nick Denton, boss there, you know, had this horrible habit of basically forwarding you emails from other people complaining about stuff on the site, and I hadn't even started yet at Gawker, so he had started sending me this stuff about over New Year's about just like why was there no weekend coverage there, why was there, you know, this wasn't on the site, and one was from Brian Williams, and you know, it had gone into, you know, specific detail about like what was lacking on the site, and it was that Lana Del Rey had the worst performance on Saturday Night Live he'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And why wasn't it covered on Gawker? So Nick sent this to me at 11 o'clock, and like I said, it's about the third time I did it. So I was like, well, you know, this is a great way to cover Lana Del Rey really being shitty on Gawker on this email. And I wasn't really prepared for the reaction from Nick, because he, you know, was when he first hired me, he said, you know, I really want to have people fear me at parties again. I feel like we're getting too big, and I'm meeting all these people, and that too many people like me. And apparently one of those people was Brian Williams, but he was furious when I put this thing up there. And I just said, you know, this is exactly what, that was like, I guess, week one.
Right. Nice.
Where it was a screaming match between myself and Nick in the middle of the office, you know, because I ruined his friendship with Brian Williams.
Is that what happened? You totally rendered that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he really did. Yeah. But he was so mad at me, and then the next day he forwarded me an email from, I believe it was like a New York Times editor. He said, I really love what you guys did with the Brian Williams thing. And Nick's like, yeah, just don't run this one. Like,
So running private emails, that's, you're gonna maybe a year or two?
It depends. I mean, when, like, you know, the Brian Williams email was such an asshole email. I mean, it just, you know, I couldn't believe, just the fact that Nick was thought this guy was his friend, and B, just like, the stuff that this guy was saying, I was just like, come on, you're an anchor.
Yeah.
Act like one.
Yeah. You're proud. And now Brian can't be too happy about the coverage that Gawker's giving to girls on HBO. Which
No, that is actually my favorite story. I mean, like Johnny Cook covering girls is actually probably my favorite thing in Gawker, because it's like performance art at this
It's
point.
amazing.
It's just like he just shits on millennials, and that's pretty much it. But through using girls as the vessel, basically.
Like my Uncle Steve over here, exactly.